Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. I mentioned in the video that I put up earlier today, which was the Hallmark Salted Caramel Gelato, that I have approximately 6 candles to review for you this week. And so you will be noticing over the next couple of days that I will probably be having 2 candles a day going up for review. I have quite a few fragrances currently in my collection that are people are excited about fall fragrances. Some of these are really good. I would say summer to fall transitional scents. And so I am trying to get information out for a lot of you earlier enough in the season so that way if you want to purchase them and have them on hand for when you are ready. Some of you I know are already in this mindset, but when you are ready for fall burning, at least you have some reviews to go ahead and fall back on. I did also want to mention for all of you guys that this week, the candle reviews are going to be a little bit heavy on Hallmarks and Kringle. I do know that I had that Bath and Body Works haul video that went up over the weekend, and I am planning to do some Bath and Body Works reviews for you. However, I am the type of person that usually likes to hit the halfway point, especially with Bath and Body Works candles, before I do any kind of dedicated candle reviews for them. So just be aware that you will see, some other brands within the next couple of weeks as well. But at this point in what I have been burning in my collection, these are the candles that I am at kind of that at least the halfway point on. And so, yeah, I just want to let you guys know in case you think that I'm, leaning a little bit too heavily on some brands and not others. This just happens to be the way that the cookie has crumbled. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Kringle Candle Apple Leaf. This is one of their 3-wick designer painted jars. I have made it no secret that this is actually my favorite format when it comes to the Kringle candles. I wish that I know that they're doing a better job, especially with their new collections that are coming out, with making 3-wick candles available. I do believe that with most of the Kringle customer base, goodness, not brace, you guys, base, I do believe that the 2-wick tumblers are still the preferred format. And so maybe that's why they don't do as many of these 3 wicks. But for me personally, I really enjoy this 3-wick aesthetic. I like that I'm able to get through the candles a little bit faster because you guys know, as a reviewer, I have a pretty big collection and I like to use it up. So these I find a little bit more manageable. Plus, I feel like they fit into a lot of candle accessories. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes on this candle. We have top notes of crisp apple, mid notes of fresh, sweet, base notes of fruity and leafy. So, really, we just have a bunch of descriptions here. Now, this particular candle was poured on February 13th, 2024. This candle was kind of I don't want to say an odd release, but back in, I want to say this was released maybe in late February, early March. Kringle did have like a specialty, like a fruity 3-wick type of release. Do you guys remember that? It was earlier this year. And they had like blueberry and strawberry and raspberry. It was like a very fruit heavy type of launch. And this candle was part of that launch. And at the time, I think a lot of people were like, apple. That's kind of an interesting fragrance to throw in there because most people in the springtime don't think apple fragrances, right? A lot of us, apple fragrances are very synonymous with fall. But I remembered looking at it and thinking, you know what? I eventually want to pick up that candle because I think that I would like that in the fall. So if you caught my video, what was that, last week, where I gave you my top 10 fall fragrances from Kringle, this candle made that list. So what does my nose smell? I told you in that video, what my nose smells with this candle is very authentic to if you have ever gone apple picking and you have freshly pulled the apple off of the tree. You get kind of that like woody note, but it's definitely apple. There's apple, but there's kind of that, there is the leaf on there. You get a little bit of the woodiness from the stem. That is what this fragrance smells like to me. In fact, I actually think that this bears some similarities to, it is not a dupe, but if you happen to be familiar with Homeworks' Heirloom Orchard, I think that you would like this fragrance as well. This one doesn't have a pear note in it as much as the Heirloom Orchard does from Homeworks, but they are pretty similar. I mentioned in the top 10 fall fragrances from Kringle video that I actually have a distinct scent memory associated with apple trees. My parents actually had a very small apple tree on the side of our house when I was growing up. And I remember playing outside and going up to that apple tree in the fall. And, my parents, God bless them, did not have a tremendous green thumb on them. And we lived in Southern California, which, the climate there is probably where we lived. We were in the high desert. So, like, I don't think that it was probably the best environment for apples to grow in. So, our apples were never very productive. But I do remember going up to the tree and pulling off these small little apples. And when I smelled this candle, when I lit it up for the first time, it definitely brought back those fragrance memories for me. And yeah, I really, really appreciate it. But yes, unlike another candle that I'm going to be reviewing tomorrow, which I think is more like focused on the fruit of the apple, this fragrance is definitely more like a freshly picked apple. It's more the apple stem, the leaf that's on an apple. That's why I think that the name of this candle is actually very, very appropriate for the fragrance that I am smelling. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. Now you can see that I have a pretty deep wax pool on this. I did talk about this fact in a couple of last week's videos, but when I am filming a lot of these dedicated candle reviews, a little sneak peek behind the scenes, I do tend to batch film them. And so when I am batch filming my candle reviews, I usually light my candles on my outside table. It's under a covered patio, but I'm in Arizona and it is currently 107 degrees outside. So the wax pools on these candles do develop quite quickly and they develop pretty deeply when I am doing a lot of these post burn reviews. Because the candles have initially been lit outside. I finish one review, I extinguish the wicks, and then I bring the next candle in for review. Obviously, I don't want them all lit in my house at the same time because not all of the fragrances are going to complement each other, and I'm sure that would give an interesting aroma to my home, but it's not what I am desiring. All right, so the performance on this candle has been very, very good. You're gonna go ahead and see the wicks right here. Very good, solid flames. The 100% soy wax formula is extremely clean burning. You're not seeing any soot here. I do know sometimes with the large 2-wick tumblers in particular, sometimes I can get some soot from them, and I think that's just the nature of the vessel. But these 3 wicks, I feel like the opening is large enough that it allows that oxygen flow in there that you really don't get a whole lot of sooting on these candles. The one word of caution I will give you in particular, if you are somebody who likes to extinguish your wicks using a wick dipper, I will tell you that I prefer that method usually to put out my wicks. However, particularly with Kringle, and this is feedback that we have given to them, we know that Kringle is some of the best in the business in terms of listening to customer feedback. These wick clips that they use do detach quite easily. So I will tell you that as your wax pools get closer to the bottom of the candle, you are going to want to keep an eye on them to make sure that the wicks are not drifting over to the side. And I used to think that maybe that just happened to be because I was burning candles in a hurricane, but my candles I've not been burning in a hurricane at all in the summertime. It's just too hot to be doing that. And I have found that that happens even sometimes when I'm not burning them in a hurricane. And I know other ambassadors have said the same thing. Others of you have said the same thing. So yeah, just be aware that sometimes the wick clips, when the wax pole gets closer to hitting like the bottom of the vessel, they can have a tendency to move. So you'll want to keep an eye on that. Also, since I use a wick dipper, usually where I was going with this story is that I will not use the dipper to extinguish the wicks now that the wax pool is reaching the bottom, because the wick clips will surely detach then. So then I just use the old, kind of like put the finger in front of your mouth like you're going to make a shh sound and then go ahead and extinguish the wicks. That way I'll just blow them out. So not my preferred method, but it seems to work better than having the wick clips move around. All right, strength and throw on this candle has been very solid for me. I'm going to give this candle a solid 8.5, 9. It is quite strong. It actually, to be honest with you, the first time I lit it, I had it in my daughter's room because I was like, oh, okay, I don't know how this is going to perform. I don't know if I'm going to like it when it's burning. And it honestly was too much for me in a small room. So now when I burn it, I do always burn it out in my living room, which is open concept, high ceilings, opening to the kitchen. And it definitely fills up the space beautifully. I mentioned in that other video that both of my daughters love this fragrance. My mother-in-law loves this fragrance. I have gotten a ton of compliments when people have come over and this candle has been lit. A lot of people, they walk in and they're like, oh my word, it smells fabulous in here. What are you burning? And then I tell them, oh, it's this apple leaf candle. And a lot of people have said the same thing. They're like, I like that this is a little bit different take on apple because it's not like the fruity apple. It definitely reminds them more of like, there's a woody aspect to it that is slightly more comforting. There's no spice note in here, no apple spice. But for that reason, because there's a little bit of like a woody aspect in here, I feel like this is a really great fragrance to be burning this month if you are ready to transition from summer to fall fragrances, but you're not quite ready for like maybe like pine scents or the spice heavy type of fragrances. This one kind of like dips your toe into the apple waters without it being overly heavy, spicy, gourmand type of apple. So I've really been appreciating this fragrance. This is still available on the Kringle Candle website. I am a brand ambassador for Kringle, but like I mentioned, I did purchase this candle. It was not sent to me in PR. My code Katie15 will save you 15% off of your purchase with Kringle Candle. That is an affiliate code that is eligible for a discount, so please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. But this one definitely gets 2 thumbs up from me. I am very happy to have purchased this. In fact, I would honestly consider repurchasing this one for next year. Will I do it right away? No. But if I happen to see another good 3-wick sale come up, I could see myself tossing this one into my cart because I've really been enjoying this fragrance, and it is a big crowd pleaser. I have 3 kids and a husband, so anytime you get a fragrance that all 5 of us can agree on that we love, that is definitely a winner, and that is the case here. So stay tuned. I will be having more dedicated reviews coming up this week. And also, if you are curious to know if I will have more of the new fall fragrances reviewed prior to the Halloween 2 launch that is happening, when is that? On August 16th. My plans are to get more post-burn reviews up for you. I definitely think that by the time the Halloween 2 launch goes up, I should have reviews for oh my goodness, Bourbon, Apple, and Oud. I should have Kittens and Cashmere up, and I think I will have the Pumpkin Rum Toddy up by that point. I feel like there might be 1 or 2 more. I do know that the what is it? The pumpkin one, the salted maple or the salted caramel pumpkin. Is that the one? I'm drawing a blank. Salted maple pumpkin. Duh, that's what it is. That is the only candle that I don't see myself having a post burn review on prior to the Halloween launch. The other one that I've been burning is Maple Woods. So I do hope that I have at least 4 of those 5 up for you next week before the Halloween 2 launch. But anyways, I am definitely working behind the scenes on getting those burning and developing some thoughts. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel if you want to see more candle reviews. Please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Feel free to comment down below as long as you remain respectful of myself and others in our community. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.